We've made a small update to the Adventure Wagon wiring harness. We've switched out all of the USB-A outlets to USB-Cs. We made this change in about March of 2024. So if you had a kit shipped before that, or you are getting this as a retrofit kit with just the outlets, we're going to go through how to swap out those USB-A outlets to this dual USB-A, USB-C. So your kit will have 5 of these outlets in them, and then you should have a USB outlet in each of your 5 locations throughout the van. We're just going to show swapping out this forward lower panel, and you're going to repeat the process through the rest of the van through all of your outlet locations. So the first thing you want to do before doing anything electrical is cut your power. We've already done that in this van, so it kind of depends on what your wiring setup is like. If you have our standard Sprinter harness, you're going to have a switch on your driver's seat base. If you have our standard transit harness, you're going to have a breaker on the side of your driver's seat base as well. In this van, we have a gold 0, so we cut the 12-volt power to that. It just kind of depends on your setup. You can always pull the fuse to your outlet leads as well from your main fuse block. So once you have your power cut, we're going to go ahead and remove our panel. So to do this, you have some screws along the bottom here in the Sprinter, and you'll also have those in the Transit as well. In the Sprinter, you're going to have a little panel here as well that is attached with just some self-tappers. So we're going to take all of those out, and then we'll use our 4mm hex to remove our track as well. So we're going to move our vertical here, and then our upper horizontal. In your Transit, you'll also have a forward horizontal or forward vertical that you'll probably want to take out as well. It's important on your vertical to remember, you probably remember this from putting it in, you want to keep pressure on the vertical and loosen your bolts a little bit at a time. You don't want to put a ton of tension on one bolt, like down at the end. So just kind of go up and down and loosen them a little bit. And then if you have a second set of hands, it's helpful for someone to just put a little bit of pressure on this track while you loosen the bolts all the way, and then you can take it all out in one piece. Okay, once you have all of your bolts out in this horizontal track, you can take it out. You don't always have to take this track all the way out. You can just loosen all the bolts quite a bit. It's helpful to not take it all the way out because this upper panel will want to fall. So if you want to take both of them out, that's probably going to be the easiest. It's like this whole section, but you can usually get away with just loosening this piece of track and then wiggling this panel out from underneath. But we're going to take it all the way out just to make it a little bit easier to see. So you can see our slide liner is going to slip down. We can just set this one aside. Now that we have our track out, we can have access to behind this panel, which is where we want to be. So if we pull this forward, you can see you've got leads going to both of your outlets. We're only swapping the USB, so you want to find where you place that on the front side of your panel. You can see here ours is on the top. And again, make sure that your electrical's cut before doing any of this. So these are all just press fit, so you can just pop them right out and out of place like that. And then this has a little collar on the back that you'll want to loosen. Get those out of the way. And then we keep the little faceplate on the back of our panels as well, just because we don't use them on the front. So you may or may not have this larger rectangular piece. The one that we replace it with will not have that. So we can just get rid of that, and then it should just pop right through the front of the panel. And then after you have that out, we're going to take our new outlet. This outlet's going to come with some butt connectors. You won't need those. We're going to reuse the little right angle ones that are pre-attached from the old outlet. So this is super similar. It has a collar on there that you spin off. Your new outlet will have little etchings in the back that have a positive and a negative marked on either post. So this is going to be our red cable and our black cable connection. So I like to note where these are, like mentally, before I pop it through the opening in the panel, just because it can be hard to see once it's on there. On this one, your USB-C and USB-A are kind of directional, so I would make sure that your outlet's right side up, that your little cover plate is in the right orientation, and then again that you know that the positive's on the forward side on this one. And then we're going to pop it right through the panel, and and then we're going to thread that collar onto the back just like we did with the old one. You want to make sure that this is nice and tight, so you don't want your outlet wiggling around and making noise on you or having trouble when you're going down the road. If you're really concerned about it too, you can pop a little bit of Loctite on there as well, which will help keep that collar nice and tight. We don't usually have problems with them coming loose without it, but never a bad idea. So once you've got that on there, we're gonna go ahead and connect our positive and negative pigtails here. So it's important to note that you need the post to go inside the metal bracket. It'll be a tight fit. So if you hook it over your metal post and you can really easily pull it off, you probably don't have it clipped in between the little like clips of the metal capture in there. So you want to make sure it goes right into, so it'll kind of clip into place and it'll take a little bit of force to pull it off. And you're doing the same with the black. So for example, if it was not in place right, that's going to be kind of to the side. So you can kind of see where those clips will like grab onto the metal post. And once you've got those nice and secure, we can tuck all of this wiring right back into the bay of the van. And we're going to put our panel back into place and then reinstall everything just like we did to uninstall it. We're going to install our screws along the bottom and then our track and our upper panel here, and then tighten everything down. Remember to use a little bit of Loctite for all of your bolts since we broke that when we took them off. And yeah, you should be good to go. Just repeat that process for the rest of the van.